The church bells rang slowly that morning. Each toll echoed through my chest like a final goodbye. My husband, Jonathan Mitchell, was gone. The strong, quiet man I had spent 32 years with gone in a blink. A sudden heart attack. No warnings. No goodbyes. He died on a Tuesday. We buried him on a Saturday and on Sunday. I opened the letter that changed everything. I still remember the way my hands shook as I tore the envelope. It was Jonathan's handwriting, neat and strong, just like him. The letter was short 3 paragraphs, but it held a secret that would shape the next 5 years of my life, my darling Rose. If you're reading this, I'm gone. But don't be afraid. I've taken care of everything. The insurance, the stocks, the property. We never told anyone about. It's all listed in the blue folder, hidden behind the false panel in my office cabinet. In total, it's a little over $23 million. You're the sole beneficiary. Don't tell anyone unless you must. Even Noah. Protect our legacy. Noah, our only son. At the time, he was 28, newly married to a woman named Jenna, and full of ambition. He had always been close to his father, but not always kind. He was driven, yes, but also impulsive, demanding, and entitled. I knew how Jonathan felt. He loved Noah dearly, but often said he wasn't raised poor enough to understand value, and that will be his weakness. And now, I held a secret. A powerful one. I found the blue folder exactly where Jonathan said it would, be behind. The false wood panel, dusty but perfectly intact. Inside were bank details, property deeds, passwords, and a breakdown of accounts that added up to just over $23.1 million. I stared at the numbers in disbelief. We had lived simply. A nice home, 1 car, a modest lifestyle. I had no idea Jonathan had invested so shrewdly over the years. I spent the next 2 weeks securing everything, transferring accounts into my name, locking the deeds in a private trust, and hiring a lawyer. My husband had secretly paid for years in advance. Noah never asked about the money. He assumed we were just comfortable. That's what I let him believe. He and Jenna had dreams of owning a restaurant, moving to Florida, living big. I helped a little, a $10,000 gift here, a used car there. But I never touched the bulk of the inheritance. Not yet. The years passed. I lived quietly, simply like always. The house stayed the same. I still wore my old sweaters, planted flowers every spring, and made banana bread for the neighbors. But Noah changed. He started calling less, then only when he needed something. Eventually, every conversation turned into a request. Can you co-sign this loan? Can I borrow just a bit for the down payment? I'll pay you back, Mom, I promise. At first I helped, then I stopped. Not because I didn't love him, but because I saw something in his eyes I hadn't noticed before: entitlement. It grew year by year, especially after his business failed, his debts mounted, and Jenna left him. One afternoon, Noah showed up unannounced. He looked tired, bitter. He dropped onto my couch like the weight of the world had collapsed on him. "Why didn't Dad leave us anything?" he asked suddenly. I looked up from my knitting. "He left us peace, Noah. A house. No debt, no drama. No," he snapped. "I mean money. Where did it all go? He was smart. He had savings, investments. I know he did. I've been looking into things." My heart stopped. I kept my voice calm. "Your father handled our finances privately. I never asked questions." "That's not good enough," he shouted. "You're hiding something, aren't you?" I stared at him, my son. The baby I had held with trembling hands, the boy who used to crawl into bed during thunderstorms, now standing before me like a stranger. I shook my head. "Noah, what you're really looking for isn't money, it's security, and that's not something I can hand you. You have to build it." His eyes narrowed. "You think I'm not worthy? I think you don't understand the difference between wanting and deserving." He stormed out that evening, and for the first time, I felt afraid. Not of losing him, but of what he might do to get what he believed he was owed. 2 weeks later, I received a letter, a demand for financial disclosure, signed by his attorney. He was trying to sue me for concealing inheritance and mismanaging family assets. I sat there, stunned. The very child I had carried for 9 months was trying to take everything from me. But I wasn't angry. I was disappointed and prepared, because what Noah didn't know was that the $23 million inheritance wasn't just hidden, it was protected 5 years earlier. Following Jonathan's exact instructions, I had placed every cent into a discretionary family trust, one that only I had access to. With clauses, iron-clad clauses, no adult child could claim any of it without meeting very specific conditions. Financial independence, 0 debt, stable employment history, a clean personal record, and written approval from May. Even created a clause that allowed me to transfer the money entirely to charity if I felt the family legacy was being exploited. The same lawyer Noah had unknowingly sent me the letter through was the one who had helped me set it up. I called the lawyer. Proceed with. The standard response? I said, let him file, he'll lose. Then I added, send him a copy of the trust papers. Let him see exactly how much he's lost by choosing greed over grace. There was silence on the line, then my lawyer replied softly, he's going to regret this. I sighed. Yes, but some lessons have to be expensive. The night after I sent the papers, I couldn't sleep. I stood in the kitchen, staring out the window, thinking about Jonathan, about how he'd warned me, prepared me, trusted me. And I realized something. The real inheritance wasn't just the money, it was the strength to protect it, the wisdom to guard what we built, and the heart to do what's right, even when it hurts. To be continued. In part 2, Noah's plan backfires. He discovers the trust, the clauses, and the depth of his mother's quiet power. When desperation leads him to make one final move, she delivers a lesson that will echo for the rest of his life. The legal notice Noah sent me sat on my kitchen counter for days, unopened after my lawyer responded. I didn't need to read it again. It wasn't just an attack on my finances, it was a betrayal of everything I had ever done for him. And yet, as his mother, I couldn't help but wonder. Where had I gone wrong? Was it the way we protected him from struggle? The way we gave without conditions? Loved without boundaries? Or had Jonathan and I failed to prepare him for a world where not? Everything is handed over like dessert after dinner. I knew what was coming and I was ready. 2 weeks passed before Noah called. His voice was cold. Formal. I got the trust documents. You don't trust me. With anything, I trusted you, I said softly. Until you sent lawyers instead of questions, he scoffed. This is punishment. No, it's protection for the money, for your future, for your father's memory. It's manipulation. Noah, I said sharply. Manipulation would have been giving you everything and watching you burn it to the ground. There was a pause. He hung up a few days later. His social media disappeared. Then I received a call from Rachel, my assistant. Ma'am, we've had someone from a financial blog reach out. Apparently, Noah tried to leak information about the trust, says he's been wrongfully disinherited and that you're hiding millions. I closed my eyes. I expected bitterness. And tighten access on all our accounts? We don't know who else he's spoken to. Rachel hesitated. There's something else. He's posted your address and a photo of the house online. People are calling you the stingy millionaire widow. It's going viral. That night, the doorbell rang. I didn't answer it. The next morning, eggs were splattered across the front porch. Give your son what's his. Someone had written on a poster taped to my mailbox. Noah had turned public opinion against me. He was playing the poor son robbed by the rich mother card. And strangers who knew nothing were buying it. But I refused to engage. I stayed quiet and instead, I planned. 2 weeks later, Noah received a court notice, defamation and harassment. Filed by my legal team. My lawyer, Mr. Gaines, served him personally. When Noah read the charges, his jaw dropped. You're suing your own son? He asked me later over the phone. No, I said calmly. I'm suing the man who turned my private grief into internet spectacle. You want to ruin me? I want to protect what your father and I built. I want to protect myself from you. The line went quiet. Then he said something that surprised me. I lost everything, Mom. The business, Jenna, my friends. I have nothing. I offered you a fresh start 5 years ago, I replied. You chose ego. And now you want to make me your villain because you failed? But I'm your son, he whispered. Yes, I said, and I will always love you. But love doesn't mean I'll let you destroy yourself for me. No lawyers. No attacks, just truth. Greater than Mom, I don't deserve your forgiveness, but I'm asking for it anyway. I was angry, desperate. I thought that money would fix everything. But the truth is, it just revealed who I really was. Entitled, ungrateful, broken. I hated you for hiding the money. But now I understand why you did it. And the worst part is, I wasn't even angry that I didn't get the inheritance. I was angry that I wasn't trusted with it, that I didn't deserve it. If you never speak to me again, I understand, but I'm sorry. For everything, Noah, I sat with that letter for hours. Read it, reread it. Tears slipped down my cheeks, not because I felt victorious, but because finally I saw my son again, the boy I raised. The one who used to draw rockets in his notebooks and say, I'm gonna build something big, Mom. Somewhere along the way, he lost his compass. But now, maybe, just maybe, he'd found it again. I waited a week before responding, not because I wanted to punish him, but because I needed to be sure my response wasn't written in emotion. Then, I invited him to lunch. He arrived, nervous, wearing an old jacket and no watch. No attitude either. He sat across from me in the same kitchen where he used to eat cereal with cartoons playing in the background. I don't expect anything, I know. I was scared. I failed. And I thought maybe if I had the money, I could start over. You can still start over, I said. He looked at me, even after everything. I stood and handed him a small envelope. Inside was a check. $10,000, no trust, no strings. He stared at it. Why? Because you said sorry, and because I believe in second chances. But this isn't a reward. It's a tool. What you do with it determines everything else. He swallowed hard. I'll make it count. 6 months passed. Noah took the money, rented a modest apartment. He started rebuilding himself, one small act at a time, and he never asked for more. That spoke louder than anything. 1 year later, and continued proving himself through action, not demand he'd inherit a share of the legacy. The rest would go to charities Jonathan and I had supported for years, veterans, education, single mothers. When I told Noah, sometimes, the most powerful legacy isn't the money you leave behind. It's the values you teach while you're still here, and my husband's voice echoed in my heart. I had Dot, and now, finally, so would our son.